There comes a moment in every person's life where they have to make a choice, not just about what they want, but about how much they're willing to suffer for it. You see, ambition without effort is just a dream, but dreams without the grind. I'm not here to inspire you with empty words. I'm here to tell you the truth, the raw, unfiltered truth, that success does not belong to the talented or the lucky. It belongs to those who are willing to grind harder than everyone else. If you're tired of being average, if you're done letting life push you around, then this message, every second of it, is meant for you. There's something people don't want to admit. Growth hurts. It's uncomfortable. It's inconvenient. And it doesn't care about how tired you are or how busy your schedule is. But here's the truth. Discomfort is the price you pay for every breakthrough in your life. There is no shortcut around that. You can't cheat the grind, and you certainly can't bypass pain on the road to purpose, Most people run the moment they feel resistance. They think if it's hard, then maybe it's not meant for them. But the ones who rise, the ones who truly evolve, are the ones who lean into the discomfort and use it as fuel. I'm not talking about unnecessary suffering or glorifying burnout. And I'm talking about the kind of discomfort that comes with stretching beyond your limits, stepping into rooms where you feel unqualified, saying yes to the things that scare you, and refusing to settle for what's easy. Growth starts when comfort ends. And the deeper that discomfort, the more meaningful the reward on the other side. People often say they want success, they want change. They want more, but they're only willing to work when it feels good. That's not real commitment. That's convenience. And convenience doesn't create legacies. Anyone can work hard when they're excited, but it takes a different level of character, a different level of hunger, to show up when you're tired, when you're doubting yourself, when everything around you is screaming for you to quit. That's when it counts. And that's when the foundation of greatness is laid. Not during the applause, not during the high points, but in the grind that nobody sees. You know what makes discomfort so powerful? It forces you to get honest. Honest about your habits, your mindset, your excuses. It reveals the areas you've been hiding in. It exposes the parts of you that need growth. Discomfort is a mirror, and the people who embrace it don't just grow. They transform. They become sharper, wiser, more intentional. They become unstoppable. You don't get that kind of strength from staying in safe places. You get it from walking through the fire and deciding that your purpose is bigger than your pain. You're not meant to stay the same. You're not meant to live on repeat, doing the same things, thinking the same thoughts, staying in the same cycle. But to break out of it, you have to get uncomfortable. You have to silence the voice in your head that says, "Take it easy, it's fine, you've done enough." No, you haven't even scratched the surface yet. There's more in you. But you won't find it by playing small. You won't discover it by waiting for the perfect time. You'll find it in the late nights, the early mornings, the hard conversations, the lonely seasons, and the moments where quitting feels easier than continuing. And yes, some people won't understand your drive. They'll think you're doing too much. They'll say you're obsessed. Let them. Because the people who accomplish extraordinary things are always misunderstood by those who are okay with being average. You don't need validation. You need vision. You need fire. You need to remember who you are and what you came to do. Let discomfort sharpen you. Let it build you. Let it teach you how to keep moving even when nothing around you is giving you permission. The difference between people who talk and people who do is how they handle discomfort. Talkers run from it. Doers lean into it. And the real grinders, they invite it. They know that every ounce of sweat is an investment, taxment. Every hour spent in the quiet, doing the work that no one notices, is a seed planted. It may not bloom today. It may not bloom tomorrow. But one day it will. And when it does, the same people who doubted your discipline will ask how you did it. The answer will always be the same. You embraced the pain they avoided. You pushed when they paused. You kept going when others gave in. So the next time it hurts, the next time you're exhausted, the next time you wonder if it's worth it, remind yourself of this. Discomfort is not the enemy. It's the bridge, and the only way across is through. Grind harder. People love to talk about motivation. They chase it like it's some magic spark that'll suddenly make everything easier. They wait for it. They rely on it. And when it fades, so does their effort. But here's the truth that most people don't want to hear. Motivation is a fleeting feeling. It's unreliable. It comes and goes, just like emotions. If you're depending on motivation to get you to your goals, you'll lose every time. Because the days you feel motivated are rare. The days you feel tired, unmotivated, or overwhelmed, those are the majority. That's life. And if you're serious about winning, you need something stronger than motivation. You need discipline. Discipline is what separates dreamers from doers. It's what gets you out of bed when you're tired. It's what pushes you to show up when no one's watching. It's what makes you do the work, not because it feels good, but because it needs to be done. That kind of consistency is rare. That kind of mindset doesn't come from hype or temporary inspiration. It comes from making a decision over and over again to keep going no matter how you feel. And you know what's powerful? Discipline doesn't care about your emotions. Discipline shows up regardless. When you build discipline, you stop negotiating with yourself. You stop listening to the voice that says, a skip today, or you've earned a break. You stop needing permission to pursue excellence. You just do it. Because you've trained your mind to follow through. You've taught yourself that success isn't based on feelings. It's based on habits. It's based on habits. And once that switch flips, everything changes. People with discipline don't rely on external motivation. They generate momentum from within. They understand that doing something small every day, consistently, is more powerful than doing something big once in a while. They know that slow progress is still progress. They don't need dramatic results overnight because they've committed to the long game. They're in it not just to start strong, but to finish stronger. And that only comes from discipline. Discipline is showing up to the gym even when it's pouring rain and you're exhausted. Discipline is staying focused on your goals when distractions are pulling you in 1,000 directions. Discipline is choosing growth over comfort, again and again. It's saying no to what's easy and yes to what's necessary. That's the grind most people avoid, but it's the only grind that leads to greatness. And it's not about being perfect, it's about being relentless. Even on the days you fall short, discipline gets you back up. It reminds you why you started it. It silences the excuses. It recenters your focus. You don't need to feel inspired to take action. You just need to be committed. And commitment isn't loud or flashy. It's quiet. It's personal. It's built in private in the unseen moments where you choose your future over your comfort. The people you admire are the ones who've achieved incredible things. They're not superhuman. They've just mastered one thing better than anyone else: self-discipline. They know that the grind isn't glamorous. It's not always fun. It's not meant to be. But it is worth it. Every time you choose discipline, you're choosing to respect your potential. Every time you follow through, even when it's hard, you're proving to yourself that you can be trusted with your own dreams. And that's the goal. Not to feel motivated, but to become someone who doesn't quit. Someone who doesn't break under pressure. Someone who doesn't rely on moods to drive their mission. That kind of person is unstoppable because they've trained their mind to lead, not follow. That kind of person doesn't need hype. They have habits. They don't need luck. They have discipline. So the next time you don't feel like it, do it anyway. The next time your mind says adjust this once, say not today. You're not building a lifestyle around how you feel. You're building a legacy around what you do. Grind harder. If there's one truth people underestimate, it's this: success has no off days. You can't show up when you feel like it and expect to be great. You can't pursue your goals like a part-time job and expect full-time results. The world doesn't reward effort once in a while. It rewards consistency. It rewards the ones who stay committed, especially on the days they don't feel like it. And that's what separates winners from everyone else. The willingness to grind, not just when it's convenient, but when it's hard, when it's boring, when it's lonely. The grind doesn't care if you're tired. It doesn't care if it's raining outside, if your friends are out having fun, or if you just want to rest. The grind is always there, waiting for you to show up. And every time you do, you add to something bigger than the moment. You're building something that compounds. You're stacking the days, the hours, the repetitions. That's what mastery looks like. That's what greatness demands. Most people don't fail because they're not talented. They fail because they're inconsistent. They give 100% one week and then disappear the next. They get motivated, go all in, and then the first obstacle knocks them off course. But success isn't earned through intensity. It's earned through persistence, through discipline, through the decision to show up even when there's no applause, no audience, and no visible progress. You have to treat your goals like they're non-negotiable, like they matter on every single day, not just when you feel inspired. If you only work when you're in the mood, you'll spend your life waiting. But when you work regardless of the mood, that's when you break through. That's when the shift happens. The momentum builds. And before you even realize it, you've created a lifestyle, not just a phase. There will always be a reason to take a day off. There will always be a voice in your head that says, you've done enough, take a break. And sometimes rest is necessary. But don't confuse rest with retreat. Don't confuse comfort with progress. Rest should recharge you, not derail you. You should come back stronger, not slower. Because if you take one day off, and then another, and another, eventually the grind stops. And when the grind stops, so does growth. Every day is an opportunity. Every morning is a choice. And the way you show up determines the trajectory of your life. Some people waste that chance. They wake up and hand their day over to distraction, to excuses, to comfort. And then they wonder why nothing changes. But the ones who get up and commit, the ones who push through the noise and stick to their path, those are the ones who win. Not because they're lucky, but because they refuse to give up. When you grind consistently, you become dangerous. You become someone who doesn't wait to be told what to do. You set your own standard. You raise the bar. You lead by example. And people take notice, not because you're talking, but because you're doing. Quiet consistency is louder than empty ambition. It speaks through results, not words. Tough words. That's the kind of power you earn, not the kind you post about. I want you to think about how many times you've started something, a goal, a dream, a vision, and then let it fade because life got in the way. Think about the energy, the time, the belief you had in those moments. What would have happened if you never stopped? What would your life look like right now if you had shown up every single day since then? That vision you had, it's still possible. But this time you can't afford to start and stop. This time you need to stay locked in. This time you grind like there's no tomorrow. The truth is, success doesn't ask how you feel. It doesn't care about your reasons or your excuses. It only responds to effort. And that effort has to be consistent. You have to show up on the bad days with the same energy you had on the good days. You have to do the work when it's cold, when it's quiet, when you're unsure. Because that's when it counts the most. That's when your character is being shaped. That's when you're building something real. So stop treating your goals like a seasonal hobby. Make them part of who you are. Commit to showing up daily, even when the results aren't instant. Because one day, everything you've done in silence, all those hours, all that effort, will speak for you in ways no one can deny. Grind harder. When you decide to grind harder, when you choose to level up your life, something shifts, and not just inside you. The world around you starts to respond. People notice, some admire you, some are inspired, but many won't understand, and some will try to pull you back. They'll question your intensity. They'll call your ambition too much. They'll say you've changed, as if staying the same is a compliment. That's the price of growth. That's the cost of rising. And if you want to succeed, you need to be ready to ignore the noise and trust the process, even when no one else does. The truth is, the moment you commit to becoming more, you're going to encounter resistance. Not just from the world, but sometimes from the people closest to you. Not because they're evil or want to see you fail, but because your progress challenges their comfort. Your discipline makes them confront their excuses. Your vision makes them uncomfortable with their lack of one. So instead of rising with you, they try to shrink you. They try to make you second-guess yourself. They'll laugh, they'll doubt, they'll talk. Let them. You don't need their understanding. You don't need their permission. You need focus. You need belief. And more than anything, you need the kind of inner strength that doesn't flinch when people don't get it. Not everyone is meant to walk it with you. Some will cheer. Some will leave. Some will watch in silence. That's all part of the process. You just have to keep going. You can't build anything meaningful while trying to please everyone. You can't chase purpose while seeking validation. The two don't go together. You have to choose one. And if you're serious about rising, you need to get comfortable walking alone. You need to be okay being misunderstood. Because the grind is often silent. The results take time. And while you're putting in the work, the world will act like nothing's happening. But behind the scenes, everything is. Your character is evolving. Your mindset is sharpening. Your future is being built, brick by brick. And that's the thing about the process. It's not glamorous. It's not quick. It doesn't give you applause in real time. It gives you challenges. It gives you tests. And it gives you chances. Chances to prove that you're not just interested, you're committed. That you're not just dreaming, you're doing. And if you keep going, the process will reward you in ways that critics can't even imagine. But you have to trust it. You have to trust that even when it feels like no one's noticing, the work matters. That even when you're tired, it's still worth it. That even when the path feels unclear, you're still moving forward. Growth isn't linear. Success doesn't follow a straight line. Doubts. But none of that means you're failing. It means you're building. It means you're growing into someone who can handle what you're asking for. Too many people quit not because they weren't capable, but because they stopped believing. They let the outside noise become louder than their inner voice. They traded their long-term vision for short-term comfort. And that's a tragedy, because they were closer than they realized. That's why you have to protect your vision, guard your goals, silence your doubts, and above all, keep going. People will talk. Let them. People will doubt. Let them. You're not grinding to prove them wrong. You're grinding to prove yourself right. You're doing this because you know what's possible. You've seen the future in your mind. You've felt it. And you're willing to fight for it, even if no one claps as. Even if no one claps. Sadie. Even if no one understands. Even if no one walks with you. One day the people who questioned you will ask how you did it. One day, the same voices that tried to distract you will fall silent. Not because you argued, not because you explained, but because your results will speak louder than their opinions ever could. That's the power of trusting the process and ignoring the noise. It allows you to rise quietly, steadily, powerfully, until there's no denying who you've become. Grind harder.